Hello, everyone. Let's get started. Good morning, afternoon, or really wherever you are today, folks. My name is Lauren Crow. I am president and can anybody hear me? Ben? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear
I'm
you.
president. Okay, just making sure because it wasn't showing up on the audio. I'm Lauren Crow, President and CEO of The Truth. I'm not in my usual studio right now. I'm actually in my living room, and that is because it is Freyja Blót for Disting 2024. Really excited to be here with you guys. If you're joining me today and would like to join in on the bloat, uh, you will need a drink of some kind. I am using some Martinelli's Gold Medal apple cider. Um, as many of you know, I am a recovering addict, so sober bloat here. But anything is acceptable. Water, tea. A lot of people will do coffee for free, actually, um, or juice, or if you have cider or mead, also acceptable. You're going to need a vessel of some sort. This is my kindred horn. You're going to need a bowl of some sort to receive the offering. And that's like the bare minimum. Any other thing you want to have for this ritual is up to you. So, with that, we're going to go over a little bit about what is Disting, why do we celebrate it? Excuse me. And Freya. All right, so Disting actually is what we know about it comes a lot from the Swedish law code, and it describes Disting as the legal assembly in market. And one of the most important things about it was that you had to have the peace of Disting. What is the peace of Disting? Well, it's kind of the peace of the Dísir, a frith, a grith even. And it was really a huge pagan midwinter sacrifice, a late winter festival. So talk about in Olaf's saga that there was a great gathering in Uppsala during the month of Gol, which is what we would say February-ish. So in Sweden, in the old custom, while Heathen was there, that most of the important sacrifices had to be held at Uppsala in the month of Gol. Sacrifices had to be offered for frith and for victory to their king, and the people had to come from the entire Swedish realm. There also had been an assembly of Swedes, and there were also a market and fair there that lasted a week. When Christianity was in Sweden, the legal assembly and market were still held. Now, ever since Christianity became the custom in Sweden, and the kings refused to stay in Uppsala, the market was being held at Candlemas. Has been ever since, and now it lasts no more than 3 days. So one of the cool things about this um, is that this is something that's still held in Uppsala even today, although it is held at Candlemas now, or the Feast of the Purification of the Virgin, and that has happened in around the 2nd of February. So this is something that has been going on for a long time. So disting, let's talk about when we have it. Um, Now, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm going to put this out here first, in the sense that you have it when you can have it, right? If you cannot have it on the first full moon or whatever, that's fine. So, um, when is disting? It looks like, based on the Swedish scholar Olaf Rubeck, believes that it was essentially held under the first full moon after the start of the month of Gold. So, it has to, it can be determined by lunar months and solstices, but general rule was the first full moon in Gold. That being said, if you're interested in when these things happen, you want to keep up with a calendar, you can go to thetrust.org, click on resources and then holidays, and we have a great kind of generic heathen calendar. We are working at getting up other calendars. In fact, I just got a great continental German calendar that we're going to be getting updated here pretty quickly. So the question then becomes, if this is what's the difference between Dísablót and Disting? Why are they different? And they're two different words, of course, compound words. Dísir, um, they both refer to goddesses and protective spirits. However, one is a sacrifice. Dísablót is a sacrifice for the Dísir. Dísa, Disting or Dísa thing is an assembly for the Dísir. So for many people, Dísa Disting is often a big public ritual, whereas Dísablót is more of a family ritual. Now, this month right now, it's a great month because, in addition to what we've been talking about, it's also a month where people would do divination to find out who they were going to marry. Um, and I thought that was kind of cool. So there was a practice um, there is a practice that was done in Sweden and Ireland, or not Ireland, Iceland, in the 17th century. And so this is great. So I was lucky to contract a betrothal of the waxing moon of this month. Excuse me just a minute. Goodness. Um, and unlucky when the moon was waning. Young people and couples might also try divination to find out who they would be married or betrothed to. A young man might go out under the night sky, under the full moon, and say the words um, to the moons, "Give me a girlfriend," and then begin digging in the earth. He would either seek his true love when he was finished digging, or if not, he was doomed to never find love again. You know, And this is also a time I often think about. I grew up with family from Louisiana. My kindred very heavily influenced with South Louisiana. So to me, I often think about this is also the time of year Mardi Gras. You have a lot of religions who have these kind of very large festivals this time of year of assembly. And I find that very interesting that it comes in. So how do we celebrate? How do we celebrate it today? Some people like to do kind of a dramatized defeat of the Winter King story. Uh, and then some people, of course, like us, do a bloat to Freya. Freya, of course, being a goddess of love and compassion. And so we light candles and lanterns to remind us of her glorious necklace. February can be a hard month, guys. Um, it is a time, the coming month is Lenten, is a time of deep reflection and fasting. So thinking about the brightness that you can inspire in other people's lives. Uh, it's a Halas Torah, really, like Mardi Gras and others. It's also a time to go out and enjoy pork. So if you're going to have a feast today, I highly encourage pork. If you're like me, I'm going to have barbecue. It's going to be great. It's also a good time for chocolate, of course. And it's also a good time to share your love with people you love, not just romantic, but friends and family. Really a time to just let people know and the relationships know the people that you love, you appreciate them. After all, we're not here forever. So it's definitely a time to celebrate the time that we share together and why we share it. And I think that's a very important thing. So, we celebrate Disting to a large degree because of Freyja. So today we are going to be celebrating Freyja. We're going to be celebrating Freyja and her role not only as a goddess of spring and fertility, but also as a goddess of love. And, not just romantic love, but also every kind of love, family love, friendship. I often think the English language really lacks in enough words for love, in my opinion. So we certainly need to invoke that as well. And also community love. I have such a deep love for this community and a deep love for the people here who are sharing this community with me, and a deep love for the troth, and a deep love for inclusive heathenry. And so it can also be a time to celebrate that. I mean, it's a wonderful time of year. And I cannot think of a better group of people to share this with than the troth and all of you out here watching our video. So I'm going to show you guys a brief video that's going to have an outline of the bloat. And then I'm going to also go over a few things just to kind of give you some expectations. I do like to set expectations before we do ritual. It just really allows that. Plus, it's also going to allow me time to jump over here and switch to ritual view camera. So thank you guys so much. Give me just a second and share this with you guys. Welcome back. I am now here with my ritual setup. Just to go over a few things. I'm going to move this here so I can see my monitor. This is a very basic setup. And I did a very basic setup because I know a lot of people want to know, how do I do ritual? So I thought the best way to do this would be to do a very simple, almost one person ritual. And this ritual has been taken from and is greatly inspired by um, a ritual that was written by Patty LaFile. And so I do want to give her credit because this was certainly hers, and my entire ritual didn't print out. That's not good. Um, yeah. Ben, can you vamp for a minute? I gotta go grab the rest of the ritual didn't print out. Yes.
Hey, everybody. So while Lauren gets that ritual going, I just want to say that I'm here too, and I'm happy to be spending time with you guys. Usually I like to do intros on these things, and look who else gets to be here with us today. Yeah, say hello, baby. Oh, hi. So we're all here for Disting 2024, this Freyja Blót. We are very happy to have you guys with us. Lauren's going to go ahead and print out some of that material here. Hi. Do you want to say hi again?
Hi.
Just killing time.
You very silly, Papa.
So I do want to go over, just say something about this particular bloat. If you go to our website, thetroth.org, this particular bloat is, I think, fairly classic. Patty designed for this particular bloat. You can find this in her book, a beginning heathen's guide to also true. This would be probably considered something like an old school classic bloat that you'd see probably became popular 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, which is a libation-based bloat, usually with mead, invocations, things like that. If you have alternative kinds of bloat, you can actually see that on our website as well, our resource on ritual and bloat. You can actually see two different kinds of bloat. Lauren's going to be going through the more libation-based one here, just so you know that if you're doing something at home that's a little bit different, that you picked up from somewhere, that's not a problem. That's perfectly normal. Everyone picks up their traditions from somewhere. That this one's more, and just full disclosure, I am in Patty's kindred, and so this is the way that I was taught how to do bloat originally. Fun fact. Yeah, you waving again?
Hi.
To all the people. And again, do apologize for not having that ritual all printed out. But very happy to have you guys with us.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the whole world.
Why? I want to talk to you.
Okay, Lauren's back, everybody. So the Ben and Francesca show is over. We're going to turn this right back over to Lauren.
Sorry about that, guys. I thought I had printed everything. In fact, I had 5 pages of my husband's RPG instead of a ritual. So, the most basic of bloats involve 3 things: an offering and something to put it in. That's it. So, I'm going to go ahead. First thing I'm going to do is, so how this ritual is going to go, well, you saw the outline. We're going to call to the Langvatir, then to the ancestors, and then to the gods. So we will call to Freyja and bless the libation, and then we will do an offering. There will be a kind of meditation where I will read some information, and then we will have a brief farewell to those that we have been with. So very, very simple ritual. However, I do think simple is great sometimes. I mean, that's what I do. I'm not a big high church heathen, just to give you guys a heads up. So I'm going to use my electric torch and light the incense. Quick first. And I apologize. And if you guys want me to run a D&D game, I got the stuff for it, but otherwise I'm kind of stuck. All right. So if everyone is ready, everybody take a deep breath. Let's let all of our worries about the rest of the world just float away. If you're like me, you're not somebody who can visualize very well, what I like to do is let my arms hang on my side. When I release the breath, I just imagine all of my anxieties and cares literally just dropping out of my hands like my hands are wet. That feeling of like water droplets coming off your fingers. Now we can begin. I'm gonna have to stay seated because of the framing. Sorry, guys. I call to you, spirits of place, of the earth, the sky, the land, and of this home, and of the cyber guard, and of the homes of everyone watching. I welcome you, those who are seen, those who are unseen, those who live upon this land, those who live in our homes. I ask you to join us. Please be with us now, protect us, and stand with us as we come to ritual. Hail the Vatir! Hail the ancestors, our honored ones, ancient ones, those who came before me. I greet you and bid you welcome. Ancestors, share your love with us. Stand with us now as we perform this ritual. Be with us, hold close to our heart, and grant us your wisdom. Hail the ancestors of blood and of spirit. Hail to the gods, our elder kin. We call upon you, Aesir, Vanir. I bid you welcome to this place. I invite you to join us as we perform this ritual. Please come, stand fast with us, and be with us as you always have been. Hail the Aesir, hail the Vanir, hail the Jotun, and all other high beings. Hail the gods. And now we will invoke our beloved Lady Freyja. Lady Vanadis, sister to Frey, daughter of Njord, friend to cats, lover to us all, I ask you to come to this place. Bearer of Brigzamen, you are welcome here, Freyja. I ask you please attend and share your love with all of us. Hail Freyja! Now we are going to bless our apple juice. Blessed drink made from fine apples, fruit of the gods, which keeps them hale, holy, and young forever. Please be blessed by this holy sign. Freyja, goddess of love, not just the love between two people romantically, but the love of friends, family, parent, and child, of all love. I share this drink with you in honor of the many gifts that you've given me and the many to come. Hail Freyja. Freyja, we are honored to have you in our life, and we are deeply appreciate all that you have given to us. Freyja, We are here this afternoon to offer you a gift as a token of our relationship. I ask that you receive it warmly and continue to smile on all of us. This bowl, this beautiful heart-shaped bowl, is a symbol of our gratitude to you, Freyja. Please accept this offering as a gift. I am mindful for all that you have done for us, and I am grateful that you will continue to smile on us. Hail, Freyja! To all the other gods of fertility, as spring comes, we know that with it comes growth and change. And while growth and change can be uncomfortable, unpleasant, and terrifying at times, it is helpful and it will soothe us. So we thank you all for growth, change, and the promise of spring. I would now like to open up the floor to anyone who would like to offer a toast to Freyja. You can type it in the comments and then Ben will read them aloud. And if you are not, please are welcome to sit for a moment and just feel the love of Freyja. Feel surrounded by her love for you. Feel surrounded by all of the growth she has for you in this coming year. Feel the renewal that is coming for you and the coming year for all of us. If we have no toasts, we give it another minute and then we will close out. Freyja, Vanity, I thank you for your presence here today. I thank you for taking the time to accept our offering. And I thank you once more for the gifts that you bring to all of us. Hail to Freyja, Aesir, the Vanir, gods of our hearts, we thank you. Thank you for being here with us, for standing with us, and for hearing and witnessing our offering. You're always with us, and I honor you. Hail the Aesir, hail the Vanir, and hail the gods. Honored and beloved dead, those who come before, all who are remembered, I thank you for sharing your wisdom and for attending this place. Hail the ancestors. Landvatir, Husvatir, spirits of place. I thank you for sharing this land and this homes with all of us. I thank you for extending your protection to all of us. And thank you for being here with us. Hail the Landvatir. As these offerings come, these offerings are returned. So these offerings will go from earth to the from the gods to the earth to us, and from us the earth to the gods. A gift for a gift. The offerings will be given and poured into the big country in my backyard once we wrap. And with that, this ritual is wrought. Thank you so much for attending. And we can open up now for Q&A. Let's see, I can talk a little bit about what I have here. I'll show this off. So this hammer right here. This is my birthday present this year. It's made from ash, elm, and oak. The handle is oak, and then it's made from ash and elm. It was made by my kindred brother. It is one of my most beloved things I own. But I had to show that off. Any questions, comments? Anybody telling me I'm doing it wrong? Because I mean, if we are heathens, that's what we do.
I had Laura previously, just before we started, remarked about this. Maybe you could elaborate. So there's a lot of different ways that people do blót. And when I was explaining before you got on, was that this was more of the what we would call like the classic libation blót. Are there
Yes.
other ways that people that you've seen that people conduct blót? If this is not the only way, but just like maybe the most common way that we see out, out in the wild, so to speak. What are other kinds of ways that people can do blót?
So there's, of course, this is kind of libation bloat. It's kind of the most common. My kindred, we frequently do what we call sacrificial bloat, where we have something like this bowl, um, where we will actually physically burn or bog it. Where we bog it, we throw it in the river. Um, you will have people who I have been involved a few times where we have worked with farmers to actually do a actual bloat with an animal that we have had raised for us, slaughtered humanely, and then actually use the blood. And then my favorite ritual style is something that is very common in the Midwest for smaller groups, and it's called a blumble. Ben, do you know what a blumble is?
Yeah, as far as I recall, a blumble is again very typical, and I've seen this a lot over the years. It's where you take a horn of liquid and you pass it from one person to the next. Each of you usually giving some kind of well wish, some kind of blessing, speaking your heart over that horn, and then passing it to the next person and then it gets libated out at the end into the bowl, and then the
Right.
bowl gets offered. So that's the what we do. So your blumble being the combination of the words blót and sambal together, right?
Right. And often what will happen is you'll start out kind of like a bloat, and then you'll do 3 rounds of something. And that is very common among people who do, very common among smaller groups that don't, or that may not necessarily have the amount of people to support doing both. Um, and honestly, my favorite kind of bloat, if I have to do, I prefer sacrificial bloat where we burn or we bog something, because to me, sacrificial bloat is, I don't know, I find something very rewarding in creating something and then offering it to the gods. To me, it's a big part of bloat to me is hospitality when it comes to the sacrifice. So I want to find something that I know the god in which I am sacrificing to, or the deity or the being, is going to like. It's why when I do ancestor uh, ancestor I do ancestor offerings. I always include soft peppermints. That was my great grandmother's favorite candy. Or if I do sacrifices for, Frigga, we'll do like a drop spindle or fiber. It's very much about finding something this divine being would like. But if you're in a situation, honestly, clean water, salt, I mean, those are all perfectly acceptable offerings, and libation offerings are perfectly acceptable. For the most part, libation offerings are used in place of blood because it used to be blood. So that's kind of where the root word comes from. Well, if we do not have any questions, I think we can consider this rite wrought. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Our next ritual we will have will be Erostra with Reverend Tim Adams coming up next month. So very excited to have him doing ritual for us. And Tim is wonderful. He's one of our newly ordained clergy, director of service, and an all-around great guy. So from all of us to all of you, have a blessed day. Happy Disting. Go eat some pork and tell someone you love them.